I've probably discussed this topic before a few times, but I've seen some videos and I've read some comments, and it's still mind blowing. Now I'm gonna put a scenario to you guys. Just listen. These are for these Rambo wannabes. Please listen. Everybody's going to say, "Oh, I got a stash or I got caches here and there. If anything happens, I'm going to, go get them." Okay, something has happened. You cannot get them. No matter what you do, you cannot get to your stashes or your caches, whatever you want to call them. And if you do, you die. Bottom line, you cannot get to them, period, for no matter what, or you will die. No matter where you put them, north, east, south, west, whatever, you can't get to them, you'll die. Okay, number two, there's a lot of people, I'm bugging in and ain't nobody going to make me or nothing's going to make me leave. I'm either bugging in at my home or I'm bugging in at my bug out area. Nothing's going to make me go. Okay, say something happens, and if you don't leave, you and your family die. Period. No ifs and buts about it. You die if you don't move, don't go. Okay, with that being said, question for you guys. How are you going to provide food to feed you and your family if you have to go? Now, I'm going to have these He-Man, Rambo types. Well, I got my, AK-47 or my AR-15. It cost me $5,000. I'll go hunt. Okay? You go hunt. Say you get a deer. Do you know how to preserve that meat for that deer? Do you know how to build a smokehouse? Out in the woods or out in the swamp or out in the desert or out in the mountains or the deep forest, wherever you have to go. After you smoke it, do you know how to build a small root cellar to keep it in there so the animals and the bugs and the heat or whatever don't get to it and it don't spoil? Now, that's my question to you guys. All right, say you got that AR-15 semi-automatic $5,000 assault rifle, and there's no big game around. You just see squirrels or rabbits. If you shoot a squirrel or a rabbit with that, there's not going to be you're just basically wasting food because you're going to blow it apart and there's nothing going to be left worth eating on that squirrel or rabbit or whatever. And I don't know. People live in a fantasy world. They watch too many television shows. They watch too many videos that thinking about a shit hit the fan situation is going to be, you're going to be fighting house to house. You're going to be, doing this. You're going to be battling. You're going to be doing, you're going to be battling. The only battling you're going to be doing is keeping yourself alive from starvation or freezing to death or lack of water or lack of medical supplies. These TV shows and these YouTube videos that's out there that's trying to make an apocalypse look battle hardened, like a movie somebody's watching, they're going to get a lot of people killed because it's not going to be that way. Granted, it might be to some degree, but not like they're letting on, and people buys into this crap. And they buy into burying stashes or caches, whatever you want to call it, bugging in and not being able to go anywhere. And they don't think, well, what if I can't get to my stash? What if we have to leave? What if there's no big game and there's this little game around, small game around, and all I got is an AR-15 or an AK-47? They don't think what if. what if can save your life. Do you guys have snares? Do you have traps? Do you have hooks? Do you have sinkers? Do you have fishing line? Do you have trout line? And I'm just not talking you know, a pack of 10 hooks and a few sinkers. I'm talking, 200 or 300 hooks, 100 split shots, you know, I'm talking stuff that you can, go out and if you have to set 20 fishing lines, set 20 snares, set 10 or 12, you know, traps, body grip traps to get you food. And everybody thinks that they're going to have a semi-automatic weapon to make it through an SHTF situation because it's just going to be blood and guts and house-to-house fighting and too much TV, too much movies, too many videos by people who's trying to sell their sponsors crap. Think for yourself, people. Me, yeah, I don't tell what I have. I do let people know I got a 22 and I got a shotgun, but I don't let other people know what I have. But me, if anything, what I'm going to grab on, make sure I grab my bow. That is a definite. My recurve bow, not my compound bow, my recurve bow. Because that'd bring, I've been deer hunting with that, I've been bear hunting with that, I've been pig hunting with that, and it'll bring them down. It's 50 pounds. It'll bring them down. No ifs and buts about it. And I'm most likely going to bring my 12 gauge because I can small game hunt with that with bird shot. I can, bird hunt with it. I can put a slug in it and big game hunt. Then I could put some 3-inch magnums or some double-aught buck, and it's a defensive weapon. So that's probably what my bow and my shotgun is what, because my bow I can always hunt big game, a small game too. You're not going to tear them apart. But have you guys, in your bug out bag or in your vehicle, whatever you got, do you have means? Do you have ways? I'm just not talking a little bit. I'm talking about, 20 or 30 or 40 snares. Those 110 or 120s or 220s, body traps, get you a dozen or 2 dozen of those. You're going to have something like that. Fishing stuff, you're going to have a lot of hooks, a lot of fishing line, a lot of sinkers, in order. You're just not going to be able to sit there and fish. Oh yeah, I'm leisurely fishing with one fishing pole. That ain't going to work. You're going to have to put out fishing sets, fishing lines here, fishing lines there. That way you'll let them do it. Get you about 8 or 9 yo-yo fishing reels. Set them out. It's something that will work for you while you can do other things. Make sure you got seeds so you can plant a garden. It don't have to be a gigantic garden. You can open the seed packs and plant 3 or 4 tomato plants, 5 or 6 corn or whatever. It don't have to be huge. Just enough for you can survive on it and your family can survive on it. Learn what edibles are out there. A lot of people don't know you can take acorns, crush them down. You'll have to leach them for about 12 hours in running water to get all the toxin out of it. Let it dry up, crush it down and make a flour out of it. And you can make bread, you can make grog, you can make everything out of that. But you just have to leach it for about 12 hours because of the toxin in acorns. But a lot of people don't know that. They don't know you can do that. But You know, the reason I'm making this video, I can't remember the video I watched. It was the other night, and this guy had, I mean, he looked like a combat soldier, and he's talking all kinds of crazy crap. You have to do this, and you have to, because you won't be able to hunt because all the deer will be gone, and you'll be starving to death. And that's another thing. People shock me. Well, all the deer will be gone. There's no animals to hunt. There are more animals out there than just deer. And what kills me, I guarantee you, the people who says all the deer will be gone, we will starve to death, has never hunted a deer in their life or never had deer meat. That's crazy. I mean, people think, oh, well, look at back in the Depression, all the deer was depleted and people were starving to death. Okay, then you go to the bear, you go to the pig, you go to the elk, you go to the moose, you go to the rabbits, you go to the squirrels, you go to the groundhogs, you go to the raccoons, you go to the possum, you go to the ducks, you go to the geese, you go to the dove, you go to the pigeon. Let's see, then you go to the turtles, you go to the squirrels, you go to the snakes, you go to the fish, you go to the crawdads. Hell, I can keep naming them. Do you guys get my point? Just because the deer population goes down, don't mean we're going to starve to death. Don't mean the only thing out in those woods right there are deer to eat. There's a lot more to eat. So, the point of this video, don't rely so don't be 150% dependent on your preps and on your caches or stashes because you might lose them. Make sure you have traps, you have snares, you have a sensible weapon that you can defend yourself with, and you can also hunt small game and big game. Have many ways to set up fishing lines, many hooks, many sinkers, fishing line, trout line, yo-yos, fishing reels. You'll be surprised. You take all that crap, all this high-tech EDC gear and military gear and top-notch optical specs and all that. You get rid of all that shit and put sensible, normal stuff in your pack that you can use to get food. You'll be surprised how much stuff you can pack in there and get rid of all this gimmick crap. Because 9 times out of 10, people has all this gear and they're pushing this gear, they're pushing it for their sponsors. Go to this website and use my name and you get 20% off your order to buy all this technical high class bullshit crap, because that's what it is. It's not going to keep you alive. Having something in your pack that you can catch animals with or catch fish with, that's going to keep you alive, not their high dollar BS. That's not going to keep, I mean, but people are so brainwashed and programmed to this stuff. Watch in the comments how many comments that I get that, well, I'll never leave my stash, or I can always get to my stash, or an AR-15 is the best hunting rifle and best man killer out there. Just watch and see if I'm wrong. Yeah, I will get some comments like that, you know. Now, I know if people are handicapped or, you know, physically can't bug out, there's not a lot they can do unless they got family members or friends that will stop and take them with them. But if they're left on their own alone, they're going to have to fend for themselves, which will suck for a lot of them. But no, that's understandable. If you can't go because you're handicapped or your medical condition or something like that. I'm not talking about people like that. I'm talking about these gun-ho people who thinks it ain't never going to happen. But think about what I said and really listen to the comments. mean, really listen to this video before you comment. Then comment and tell me, are you prepared? Do you have the means to provide food for your family? Because you can always boil water for, for drinking water. Any lake, river, stream, whatever, rainwater, you can always boil it. You can always build a shelter, and firewood. But food is going to be, you got to have food in your system. Do you have means? I'm not talking one or two snares or one or two, I'm talking a good amount where you can set them out and provide enough food for you and your family to thrive on, not just barely survive, to thrive. And I'm sorry this video is a little bit long, but I'm pushing this, guys. You got to get away from all this bull crap, this bullshit gear, this high-tech crap. Start thinking the old ways. Start thinking the mountain man way. Start thinking the frontiersman way. Food, shelter, water. That's what you need. Ways to barter. You can use learn how to make, process the fur. You can always turn around and trade the fur off or sell your fur for gear, for food. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Trapping will be one of the biggest ways people will survive, by getting the food and by processing the fur and trading the fur to people who can't do it or won't do it. And they'll be willing to trade you or anything to get that fur to make a mittens or make a hat or make a pair of boots or a coat or anything. But I can't stress it enough, guys. Get away from the modern crap. Rely on the old ways. That's going to save our bacon in the end. This modern crap's going to fail. It's going to break. It's going to run out of juice. It's going to, whatever. If you got the old ways and the old skills, you got it set. But I'm gonna get off here. I'm at 17 minutes. But think about it. Leave a comment below. Everybody, be safe. Keep preparing. Bye for now.